Aloha team, this is Brendan, and this is a on-the-go conscious movie review for Pheonix Forgotten, which is a new movie that's out about UFOs, and this is the quickest way for me to just kind of get the review to you guys, having just walked out of it, literally on my way home now. And it was interesting because, like, without having to really give away spoilers and stuff, there were a lot of conscious seeds planted within this movie. Like, they even brought in some of the Native American perspectives of what UFOs are in the first place, relative to thinking of the UFOs, the lights in the sky, as being our ancestors, our elders, as being our star brothers. And so to see that within this movie, I think, was pretty interesting. And it wasn't just like a pop-up scare movie. It was actually a lot of movie with a lot of thought and a lot of heart. And yeah, there's a lot of elements to it that I thoroughly enjoyed. And at first I wasn't entirely sure, but then kind of like briefly before going into the movie, I was like, wait a second, you know, like maybe this movie's gonna have some like cool stuff in it. And so it's yeah, it's an interesting movie, and the end is like pretty dramatic and stuff like that without having to spoil anything, but it still does leave room open to think about stuff. But I guess the part that's interesting, this is like kind of spoilers, so like kind of, but like Ridley Scott is also involved with this movie, and he's got a lot of conscious ideas too, because his movies right now that he's focusing on are the Alien Covenant series, again, which is a lot to do with like sort of how life was created and seeded by extraterrestrials. So what I think, again, this is where it's kind of spoilery, but I think what's actually happening is that like what we kind of see by the end of the movie is actually kind of like intended to fit within the world that Ridley Scott is creating. So, but nonetheless, again, I think there were some cool themes in this movie, and generally it was about you know, a young journalist. I guess that's probably something I should have explained way better to begin with. But again, this movie as like a found footage movie is something I could really relate to, because it's about like, at the time, like a young guy, probably like 16 years old, and he films the Phoenix lights when they happen in Phoenix, Arizona. And then basically from there, he is like kind of like exploring his own journey as a person with a camera, as a filmmaker, which is again what I can relate to. It's kind of like his journey seeking for the truth, and then he meets like this girl along the way who's kind of like really encouraging him to think outside the box and stuff like that. So there's some really cool characters and elements, and yeah, in conclusion, I invite you to go see it, and in conclusion, I invite you to keep your eyes on the skies, because there be UFOs, I tells ya. So I'll talk more about UFOs another time, but for now, inviting and encourage you guys to talk about UFOs in the comments below, and to go check out Pheonix Forgotten if you weren't entirely sure about it. It's not like some like campy, scary type story. There's actually like some cool stuff to it relative to the UFO perspective. And yeah, giant ascended Merkabas floating in the sky, vehicles of sentient light, blah. Cool. Okay, like I said, we'll talk about UFOs more another time. Until next time, thanks for watching this, and I'll talk to you guys in the future. Much love. Keep it shifty.